They call me Stutta Boii, aka Flo Sika. Thank you to everybody that came to my birthday party at Club Sevilla on Friday. It was popping. Shout out to Fernando Rojas for putting it on. He hit me up last minute, said, "Hey, your birthday's coming up. How about you come celebrate it with us here at Sevilla?" I didn't really, I'm not really into that type of environment as far as clubbing because, I'm getting older. Sent me this flyer at random right before my birthday. Said, "Come on, let's do this." My girl saw it, said, "Well, how many times are you gonna have an opportunity to turn up on your birthday at a club like this?" Said, "Valid point." Thought about it for another 5 minutes. Said, "Okay, let's do it." I wanted to make sure that this whole thing was a personal thing for me. This wasn't about me being an artist, but me being Andy Robinson, who's lived for 29 years and was very happy to be around these people that know me from second grade to high school to now, that know me personally, that know who I am as a person, that could tell you all these stories of me growing up. And I wanted that to be the who I was hanging around, and that's what it was all based on. And those people showed up, and I want to thank them for showing up. And that's honestly, it meant a lot. And they were trying to get me fucked up and drunk, and it was cool. And there was so many people dancing, and a couple of perverts, and the go-go dancers, and the people that wished me happy birthday this week, especially Black and Ease, who made the personal message about how he met me and how humble and genuine I was. That meant a lot to me, man, because I'm very to myself a lot of the times, but I am very nice. But I think people get that wrong interpretation of me just because I'm very quiet into myself, and my face kind of has this "fuck off" written over it, but it's not really that. Just the guy that doesn't like bullshit and also doesn't want any problems. So yeah, so thank you to Black and Ease and everyone else that wished me a happy birthday. I really truthfully thank you for that. It meant a lot. It even means more than presents for me, because growing up, it was just me and my dad growing up, and he would try to do the best he can for me, and I would get phone calls every morning, every birthday morning, from my sister and my mom. So those are the people that only said happy birthday to me growing up. So for it to be now like 100 and some odd people wishing you a happy birthday, and some having these personal stories of how you influenced them, means fucking world. So thank you. Moving on. I'm gonna set up like this. Curtis King told me when I was sitting with him one day, we were chopping it up. He was giving me all this advice, mad advice. Shout out to Curtis King. He said, "What kind of fan base do you want?" He said, "Me personally, I want more women in my fan base. The women tend to be the more willing to buy into artists or into brands, into things in general." He said, "I don't really care for the guys that are only impressed by lyricism." He says, "That's very shallow to me. I think that they should be impressed by everything you do as an artist." So the 20 guys that are all hip-hop heads, quote unquote, nodding their head on the wall with their arms folded, or mean mugging everybody, going there not impressed, I don't want that. He said, if I have two fans sitting in the front and they're vibing with me and they're nodding their head and they're putting their hands up, and he said, I will put on a show for those two people. I will stare them dead in the eye and say, you know what? This is a show between us, and make them feel like they're missing out. When he told that to me, it just clicked. You're an artist trying to figure out where you stand as an artist. Just remember that you want to represent you, but at the same time, you want to appeal to them, to us, to everyone. So if you're going to make music, make the best representation of yourself. Give it 110% in everything you do. Don't ever make a filler song. Also, when you're doing collaborations with others, it might not necessarily be what you want to do as far as the song concept, but always remember, this is a representation to potential fans that you never appealed to before because you're on someone else's music. So when you do those songs, just remember, give it 110% effort, because you just might impress someone over there that wasn't a fan before that might suddenly be a fan now. And remember that no matter what you do as an artist, you don't necessarily have to be the most lyrical guy in the world or a girl. Just remember that as long as you have the love for the music, regardless of what the music might change to, as long as you have the love for the music, you can't go wrong. So as long as you have the love for the music you're making, regardless if it sounds more commercial or if it sounds more underground or if it sounds more lyrical, less lyrical, make music that matters and means something to you and the people that you're trying to touch. That's the best advice I can give you. When you're trying to figure out what song you're trying to do, just remember that this song represents you and whatever you're trying to do. So if you think of every time you're making a song, what this means to people that are going to listen, because you have to understand, we as artists have to be selfish at some point. We do this music to make ourselves feel better. So at some point, you have to learn to meet that middle ground of, do I still appeal to the people listening and not compromise myself? So you make songs that appeal to people more. You might make a more melodic song. Look at a J. Cole songs like Crooked Smile and She Knows, and listen to how melodic they sound. They're very melody driven. They're catchy for a reason. He's trying to appeal to people that like that type of song, but at the same time, he's keeping his creative belief intact. And just to approach that each time you do songs. And just remember that if you want to make a business of this, that you have to appeal to those potential listeners. Our egos, it's important to be lyrical or be like, oh, he's so dope. But at the end of the day, if you want to make a business of this, they don't really care about that. Most fans won't care about that. They want to hear what matters and relates to them. Anybody out there that's making albums, remember, these are representations of you. Fans want to relate to you. Give them a reason to. You want to be known for the guy as the artist that touched somebody who was going through some shit like cancer or tough times in relationships. People relate to that stuff because it's daily life. So remember that. Yeah, as long as you understand all this, you'll be okay as an artist. Trust me, I have faith in you. They call me Stutta Boii, aka Flo Sika. You've been fucked. Have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Peace out.